up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast.
A month away from the April 8th solar eclipse, Travis County issues a disaster declaration. Officials expect to see big crowds, traffic, and a strain on first responders, hospitals, and roads.
That's what we're trying to put resources in place for, to direct traffic, extra law enforcement on the streets out in those areas, extra signage, working with Waze and Google to try to pre-identify and map routes that people can take safely into and out of the area.
Private property owners in unincorporated areas are required to let the county know if they plan to host a gathering with more than 50 people. That's so first responders can prepare accordingly.
We're making the declaration today. It's going to be in effect until the 8th because we're requiring that registration and those other measures until the 8th. The court ratifying that today will keep it into effect.
Del Valley ISD announcing Friday they're canceling classes on April 8th, joining these districts that will close that day. Other districts like Austin ISD are using the day as an educational event. The county says there are no plans to close roads. Some parks require reservations and many are already filled up.
We want to make sure, even when we were talking specifically around potential challenge points going into and out of the parks, the goal is going to be to keep the traffic moving as free flow as possible.
Hays County is closing their county offices that day except for public safety ones. No matter where you are, leaders say avoid non-urgent appointments that day. Stock up on groceries and gas beforehand and download the What 3 Words app to make it easier for first responders to find you.
We expect to have a nice perfect day with a nice perfect crowd, and but we're going to be ready if it doesn't turn out that way.
You see what's happening behind us. A solar eclipse will be visible across much of the country.
For 15 states, that means the moon will completely cover the sun, briefly turning day into night. And there will not be another one now until 2044 happen during this celestial event.
Yeah, during the total solar eclipse, the moon will come between the Earth and the sun, and if you're in that path of totality, you'll be able to look up at the sky and see the sun completely blocked out by the moon, which lets you see the corona, which is the outer atmosphere of the sun.
So the middle of October last year, I was in Sedona, and I thought what I saw was, for the most part, a total solar eclipse, but it was not. There was an eclipse in 2017. So how is, for instance, April's eclipse, the one that's coming up, going to be different?
So we'll be studying all different types of senses. So if you're experiencing the eclipse, one thing that you'll notice is that the temperature will drop. It will get a little chillier. You'll notice a change in nature where the birds will start to nest thinking it's the dusk time. Crickets will come out and chirp. But
we are about to encounter a solar eclipse. But it's not just any solar eclipse. It is an extremely rare total solar eclipse that's linked to some unsettling predictions for the 2024 elections, with implications for both the US and Israel. And some believe it could even signal the end times. In today's video, I'll break down the real meaning behind this solar eclipse and tell you what it actually signifies. In various parts of the Bible, there are connections drawn between end-time events and heavenly phenomena. There are many verses mentioning the sun, moon, stars, and perhaps even eclipses in relation to prophecies about the end times. For instance, in Luke chapter 21, verse 25, Jesus speaks of signs in the sun, moon, and stars when discussing the timing of the end times. As a result, when individuals observe uncommon or rare astronomical events, it often leads them to ponder whether the end times might be drawing near. To truly understand the meaning behind a sign like a solar or a lunar eclipse, it's important to reflect on history, explore biblical references to similar events, observe the ongoing global happenings, and carefully analyze the circumstances. And by piecing together these elements, we can discern whether there is a genuine warning or if it's part of a larger biblical prophecy unfolding. Now, in 2017, two significant and uncommon events took place in America. First, on August 21st, 2017, there was a remarkable occurrence known as the Great American Solar Eclipse. It was visible across the entire nation, from the west coast to the east coast of the US. However, it's essential to note that an eclipse alone doesn't hold much meaning unless it is accompanied by other events that align with biblical and Israeli contexts. The following month, on September 23rd, 2017, another exceptionally rare event unfolded involving the alignment of stars and constellations, referred to as the Revelation 12 sign. On this date, the constellations of Virgo and Leo, along with Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, the Sun, and the Moon, aligned in a unique way, resembling the depiction of the Revelation 12 sign in the Bible. Did you know that this alignment has only occurred twice in history? Well, this is where things get even more shocking. Keep an eye on these constellations as they'll be significant again in relation to the 2024 eclipse. From August 2017 to January 28, 2020, President Donald Trump proposed his deal of the century called Peace to Prosperity. It advocated for a two-state solution, granting 70% of Israel's land, including the eastern half of Jerusalem, to the Palestinians, the ancient Philistines, Israel's historical enemies, for a Palestinian statehood. Following this, 3 months later, the pandemic erupted, causing widespread devastation worldwide. This was followed by significant economic struggles, civil unrest, conflicts with Russia, and the loss of leadership for both Netanyahu and Trump in 2020. Surprisingly, instead of witnessing the signs of the four horsemen as anticipated, we saw their signs occurring in reverse order. Moving forward to April 8th, 2024, 7 years after the initial eclipse in August 2017, another eclipse is set to occur. This time, it will not only be visible across the United States, but its path of totality will form a significant X shape across the country, unlike the 2017 eclipse. However, unlike the Revelation 12 sign, this eclipse will only cover the eastern half of the nation, and it will take place 7 months before the 2024 presidential elections. Interestingly, just like the Revelation 12 sign, the constellation of Leo, symbolizing Judah and Jerusalem, will align with the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024. This constellation is associated with the Lion of Judah, representing Jesus. So what does all of this mean? In biblical prophecy, the number 7 often symbolizes completion, indicating the conclusion of a cycle. In this context, it refers to the completion of Israel's appointed 70 weeks of judgment, represented by 7-year Shemitah cycles.
This is an experience beyond all experiences. You can't prepare yourself properly for what this is like.
The moon on a narrow path across the Earth. The state of Texas will especially have a front row seat to this. The eclipse is set to be another spectacular event.
If you have to buy groceries, if you have to put gas in your car, or you have to run errands, do all of that in the days before the April 8th weekend.
This is the path of totality. It will cross through Mexico and then come into Texas in about Eagle Pass. This will be again on the afternoon of April 8th. It will then proceed to go over Austin and Waco and Dallas before leaving out of Texas and traveling across so much of the United States. Millions of people are in this path of totality.
So our big concern is traffic coming, not necessarily coming into the city. It's right after the event when everybody's leaving. 911 service should be okay. You shouldn't have any problems getting through. Avoid, if you can, talking a lot, or, possibly just text everything. But just stay off the phone if you can. I mean, everybody should start, if you can, go out shopping on Friday or Saturday. Sunday is going to be when we're going to start seeing the traffic flow, people coming in. And with that comes the people coming in to the shop and to get the gasoline or whatever they need. So if we can get you to get out there Friday or Saturday, and then just let Monday stay at home and keep from traveling, that's our best bet at this point.
Yeah, because you can be able to see all of this directly from your front yard or backyard. Yeah.
With an emergency declaration, all you're doing is they're presetting the stage if something does happen, just to be quickly to get supplies from, say, the state.
Right before this eclipse. And then you notice all these counties in the path of this eclipse are suddenly doing these emergency management notices. This has never happened before. So it just makes me wonder if what's going on this month is tied to what the UN has planned so they can institute these emergency powers.